Good morning, everybody. This is our astrology weather forecast for April 21st, 2025. And you do have to put up with my shaky handheld camera because I won't be home for 2 more days. We've got the moon fully in Aquarius for the whole day. And that is an interesting undercurrent that brings a different energy than the main transit that we have today. Saturn conjunct to the North Node. So that's something that's very confining and binding and asks us to look at what is within a certain parameter. But the moon in Aquarius is about objectivity and not keeping things within a certain box. So it's a layered energy that can have us looking with more objectivity or feeling into what's going on with more objectivity. And this can be helpful when it comes to figuring out what needs to be learned, what needs to be acted on with Saturn conjunct to the North Node. We might be more teachable with the moon in the position that it's in. So Saturn with the North Node, it means that there's a world trend, first of all, that's about stopping to look at what is actual, what is actually going on. It's a new cycle of looking at reality, looking at the actual consequences of things, not what would we like to see. And this is not Jupiter stuff. This is not aspirations. This is not dreams. This is what are the actual facts, figures, what is actually going on, what is occurring, not what is in the future, not what's in the past, not what are we hopeful about, but what are we actually seeing? So this is something where in our life personally we can stop and look around and have a massive wait, what moment. And we can be looking at how is our inability to take responsibility, to adult, to admit that certain things in our life are our responsibility. This is a day, and in fact a week, where unless we have embraced the individuation process and we are putting self-respect as our central value, we can experience some humiliation. We can experience some feelings of having missed the mark. We didn't get the Saturn memo. Saturn gives us a report card every time we have a Saturn transit. And it's a collective report card regarding what leadership is, what structure is, what kind of regularity and institutions are present, what are we loyal to in the broader sense. Personally, we look at how well are we keeping our loyalties in our personal life. How well are we actually doing what it is that we say we're going to do, or are we at all? So things regarding showing up. Do we show up at all? Do we show up in the way that we profess to be? Hypocrisy has been really hard to see with Saturn going through Pisces. But this is a week, and this is a particular day where we can catch ourselves out. And we have the option to double down. We always do. We always have the option to not get the memo and to be in denial and then get bonked on the head again the next time. Because it may take, 27 times before we get a lesson. We may have to fail continually until we accept that something has got to give. And so what gives today with Saturn at the North Node is childishness, the inability to shoulder responsibility. And we can see how that is keeping us from growing. It's keeping us from experiencing. It's keeping us from going through the eye of the needle. That's the North Node. We go through the current state of the ego into a larger experience of ourselves, a larger experience of life. But you have to go through that wormhole in order to get to the other side, in order to shed your current state of being so you can come into a new and better version of yourself, a new timeline. And so many of us, we don't want to do that because we're going to have to give up some measure of security or knowns or power. And those of us that are ready for more lightness, more freedom, to see what's on the other side, we might be willing to accept some weight that we thought we just could not shoulder before. We have to look at what types of weight. If it's weight of our own choosing, it's the right kind of weight. If it's weight that we continue to carry around because it enables our stories of ourself, that's the wrong kind of weight. Those are the stones in our backpack that have always been there. And along the individuation process, we realize how much we're carrying. We stop, we take that backpack off, we take out the stones and the weight that we don't want. And we have the option to replace it with weight that we do choose, or no weight. But we have to give up foundational stories that very much, because we're dealing with Saturn, are related to how we blame our parents, how we blame authority, the stories we have surrounding not being raised correctly or with the right kinds of opportunities or conditions. And that all may be true. We may have a point. We did deserve better. But with Saturn at the North Node, we have a chance to decide, are we going to continue to be in that state of unpreparedness and weakness? Or are we going to move forward, even though life isn't fair? Even though we got the short end of the stick? So I'll check in with you guys later today. Have a good day.